talking about trailblazing, and we've been talking about bravery, and we've been talking about stand up, speak up, and show up, and we've been talking about International Women's Day and sharing about how it started in 1910. And yay, Clara, thank you so much. And everything this whole 2 days. We are not finished yet. We have like a powerhouse panel, and then we are going to party it out, and we are going to complete this day with an incredible book launch of Rosemary Keogh Smith, and the book's called Don't Have Sex 9 Months Before Christmas. That's how we're going to end this party. But right now, we are going to have a trailblazer panel to rise that energy and remind you all of the trailblazing that you are capable of, because these women have rocked it. I mean, imagine being an expert panel on trailblazing. This has been incredible. So if you are on that panel and you have your, put your face on, get your face on, be all here. Okay, cool. So I am going to say your name. Feel free to do an emoji or just wave so people can see who you are. And then we're going to go around. I am too, Carmen. I'm excited for this. Then we're going to go around and we're going to ask some questions, and then we're going to ask some more. And these are people you want to take note of. All right. So we have Karen Gothlin. So just wave or say hello. All right. And then we have Tammy Cohen. And these ladies are going to tell us what they do and how they do it. Rhonda Travers. Oh my gosh. OG 262. We have Kira Conlon. Nice to see you. Look at that love in the background. Melissa Heathers. All right. Melissa and Kira, the ladies in red. Oh my gosh. And Rhonda too. Well, it's trailblazing, for crying out loud. And then you got this it's trailblazing. Carissa. Is Carissa with us? I know she was with us earlier. I did not see her come back yet, but let's hope she's closing a deal. Susan Bloomberg, are you there? Yes, you are. Yes, you are. And Miss Carol Patrizi. All right. We are all here. Absolutely fantastic. We are going to ask some questions, and we are going to hear from you how to stay trailblazing. So I am going to go in that order of whom I just said hello to, in that order. And if you could please introduce yourself to us. Tell us what it is that you do, and what part of that for you has been the trailblazing piece. Like, what path have you carved? What new learning was that for you? And so, Karen, I'm going to start with you.
Great. Thank you so much. I've been popping off and on all weekend, so it's great to be here. So I did my homework, Deb. You and I talked about this months ago. What panel do I belong on? Where is the best fit? We went through a couple, and you're like, Karen, I want you to be on the trailblazing panel. So I did my homework. I looked this up in the dictionary. Okay. So trailblazers forge a new pathway in wild country. I loved that. So, all of us, from what I've seen in your community in the year that I've known you, and on the summits I've been in and participated in, all of us, right, deserve to be on this panel, because we've all either forged for ourselves or for other people, or both. My forging came in the form of thinking about what therapy should look like in 2026. And I have figured this out. I've been a psychotherapist for 35 years, and more than anything, what I wanted to do was create therapeutic conversations that just didn't float away at the end of a session, where people feel good for a couple of hours, maybe a day or two, and then they go back. As humans, we will go back to doing things the way we always have. So I created a method that has powerful beginnings, meaningful middles, and clear endings to help people be accountable for themselves. So I do feel, through my own experience and through modernizing evidence-based approaches, I have forged a clear direction in what I'll call the rugged terrain of mental health.
Wow. Incredible. Yay. Oh my goodness. This is exciting. Tammy Cohen. Oh, you're not unmuted yet. So just, we have to give
now I
a
am.
little moment.
Okay. Yeah, my keeps
Our job is
the host
security.
has to unmute you.
Only one at a time. I know it's going to be,
So, hello everybody, and it's great to be here. It's an amazing day. Enjoying everything I'm hearing, learning a lot. Thank you, Deb, and your whole team for putting all of this together. So I'm Tammy J. Cohen, and I always start off with when I'm speaking, I'm a mother of three grown sons, and then I go into I am the founder of TC Brand Consulting, and I'm a messaging strategist, an author, a speaker. Everything happened to me later in life. That's what's trailblazing, I think, is that I never said, "Oh, you can't do this." It never even entered my head. But what happened in this situation was, and we've been talking, this has been coming up a lot, the whole, you don't have to look so hard for your purpose. If you listen, it's going to come to you,
Hmm.
right? You have to hear the intention comes to you. And it came to me at the start of the pandemic, which isn't that long ago, when everything shut down and I realized I was a mess. And I wanted to try to change that. And I was learning so much about really amazing concepts that everybody's talking about today. The only thing is they don't teach us this stuff in school. They don't teach us about gratitude, appreciation, or mindfulness, or self-care or healing. We don't learn it. So the first thing I said is everything I'm learning that's amazing, I need to share this with my sons, which led to the publication, not only deepening my connection with them, but deepening my connection to myself. I completely changed the way I spoke to myself and my community and everybody around me. And it led to the publication of my book, Text Messages to My Sons, a guide to using mobile devices to connect and communicate with your kids. And the results have been really great. My readers are saying that, yeah, using technology, look, technology is here to stay, right? It's not going anywhere. But using it differently to deepen connections, change relationship, um, change conversations consistently is if we want to reach the younger generations, especially, we've got to get really, really intentional with it and commit to it. And that's what I do every day with my sons, and it's changed my life.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much. And Rhonda, please tell us about yourself, Miss Trailblazing Woman.
Well, it is such an honor to be part of this panel, part of this mission, and returning again to this wonderful event and what you do, Deb, to bring us all together. And I love Liz's definition of trailblazing, that it starts with something around what you want to change to help yourself, and then it goes beyond you and it goes to helping others. And so I get to work with everyday organizations on transforming their culture, where people are empowered and thrive so that they stay. And I do that. I've been doing that for 5 years. And because before that, I had a 30-year corporate career in internal audit, risk management, and compliance. And for 6 years, I had in the back of my head that I knew that I had a passion for empowering, educating, and coaching others. But I didn't want to take that leap yet until instead of a heaven wink, I got the cosmic 2x4 that Sarah Troy had mentioned today. I had to get a cosmic 2x4 to say, okay, the time is now. The time is now to step out of your comfort zone and create a bigger impact. And so I know that's where I'm aligned right now is how do I help empower others? How do I elevate the impact? And how do I do that beyond just the where I had the experience from my corporate career? How can I have a bigger impact on a bigger stage? If you would have told me 5 years ago when I launched this business that I would be on an international stage like today with Deb's vision, I would have laughed at you. If you would have told me that I would be in two different books as a contributing author, I would have laughed at you too. But the end of the day is if I can create change in some way to create where people are empowered and they thrive, both personally and in the professional culture, then my work is done. My cup is full. So that to me is trailblazing, is elevating our impact and how do we do that?
Fantastic. Oh my goodness. And Kira, thank you, Rhonda.
Hello, I am also so feeling blessed to be here among so many passionate and powerful women doing amazing things. For myself, my mission is really to put a slow slowing down of the perpetuation of intergenerational trauma that's coming from the reenactment of childhood wounds. So the work that I do, first I work with individuals through energy healing and intuitive channeling and sacred cuddling. There are so many people who are feeling disconnected and didn't receive affection as a child and don't know how to share that with others. And what is truly trailblazing, though, is the work that I'm doing with families of young children, especially single and co-parenting families who have come out of turbulent, harmful, and sometimes straight up really harmfully abusive relationship experiences. And both the parent and the child are dysregulated, going through big emotions and really, tough connection with each other. And so I actually work very hands-on, going into the home, working concurrently with the parent and the child to help them communicate better, understand each other, live together, and find a place of harmony that they really haven't known in their experience together. And it's incredibly rewarding when I'm literally there holding their hand as they experience these big emotions, and then we make changes to just transform their whole experience of family.
Wow. Isn't it incredible? Thank you so much. It's incredible the different, do we say things, careers, niches, platforms, positions that people, and just think of the last 3 years. Just think of the last 3 years, the people that you're meeting that do very specialized work. Wow. Okay. And Melissa Heathers.
Hello, beautiful souls. Happy International Women's Day. I am Melissa Ethers, and I'm an international author, speaker, and executive producer of the book Crawl, streaming soon on the Women's Channel. So at my core, I believe I'm someone who believes deeply in the power of story. And my book, Dear Ego, Dear Heart, was written about the inner war between the head and the heart and how to learn to love ourselves. And that's kind of for me where everything begins. But the trailblazing part of my work came when I realized something very important. Authors are more than writers. Authors are thought leaders. They are visionaries shaping cultures and conversations and healing the world. So I created the book Crawl as a bridge between bookshelves and broadcasts. It's media platform where authors step out behind the page into visibility through television and social media. We talk about ideas, impact, and legacy because for me, I truly believe books shouldn't just sit on a shelf. Their voices deserve to be heard in rooms where influence is created. So my mission is simple: help authors become visible as thought leaders and bring their message from the bookshelf to broadcast.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much. So grateful you chose the Women's Channel. Lots of cool things happening there, my friend. All right. And Susan.
Hello, everyone. I am so honored to be a part of this panel. To be called a trailblazer is just a huge honor to be thought of in this way. Because what I do is I help parents who are dealing with chaos and conflict and help them move to a place of calm, mutual trust and respect, and help them guide their teens and young adults to become the successful, independent adults that they are meant to be. And the real turning point for me was when my own child was being verbally and emotionally abused by students and even by a teacher in her 6th grade year. And I came to the school and I watched her being physically attacked by another child. She was punched in the stomach and the head, and I watched her fall over backward into the snow. And I realized in that moment that I had to put aside all my own problems and laser focus on her, become her advocate, and realized I had to bring this message to all parents to become advocates for their kids. And what I do is I help parents become effective not managers, but coaches and leaders for their own teens. And that's where I do something different. I work with teens and young adults who are neurodivergent, who are what we call twice exceptional, kids who are both gifted and have disability labels, and who have been misunderstood by school systems, by their families. And that's where I think I have been blazing a trail to bring skills and strategies to these families and the systems that help them. And that helps me feel like I'm on the right path.
Oh my goodness. Look at who is in the room. Look who is in the room. If that inspired you and you wanted to lean into any one of these women, lean in, call them. And Carol, Miss Carol Patrizi.
You
What's
know
going
what?
on, Trailblazer?
I tell y'all, I cannot really, I could throw myself down. The information and the outreach and the education that can go from here globally. I'm covered in chills. I was typing this because really and truly, I was thinking of what I'm doing and how I'm blazing the trail. First of all, I loved Karen start us out with that definition because I had looked it up too. Because I thought, okay, let's really think about trailblazers. You know, I'm thinking about horseback riding and all this other kind of stuff. Because really and truly, it is the truth. We are forging ahead. And Tammy, I mean, come on, this nudging and this pushing and what we're calling downloading. For me, it's the Holy Spirit saying, come on, come on. You got the power within you, and come on, I'm going to help. And then I love this. Rhonda, it is all of this is beyond us. And for us to be able to go out and help change cultures like you do, I mean, come on. It's just, and Kira, the healing of the childhood trauma transformation, transforming families through healing and helping adults grow up. I grew up, still growing up, but I was an immature adult until an embarrassing age. Good news is I'm 110, so made up for a lot of it. But then, seriously, and Melissa, the power of story and that authors are thought leaders, incredible. And Susan, I hit this sin to myself late, but supporting children, neurodivergent children, and others, and telling parents, come on, become an advocate. Everybody here is saying, become advocates for those that need us. I was pushed, was nudged, whatever I really wanted to forge the path and have people understand a new meaning of surrender, that it means empowerment, that it means being, as Brene Brown would say, get in the arena, get in there and be vulnerable. Let's surrender to what we're being called to do, and let's surrender our weaknesses so that God can work through us. And I know that with all my heart, our stories, this is a level playing field for all to learn. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how old you are, where you've gone to school. If a really and truly, I hope has a new calling teacher, Andrea, tells you not to go on with something you want to do, Lord help us. I hope she's found her new calling. But the thing about it is that, to learn to surrender, and it's okay to ask for help, to pray, to reach out and teach other. Let's take accountability for what we are called to do, and let's do it and help each other. That's what I'm doing, and I'm doing it in every way I possibly can. Summits, books, talks, going with Deb wherever she wants to take all of us. I mean, really and truly, we've got to spread our gifts, y'all. We must.
Wow. Okay, well, there's like mic, drop, 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 drop. All right, but I have another question for you all. So I want to hear more from you. I want to hear more from you. So you shared with us what you do, and incredible, and how you're forging, phenomenal. The impact you're making, exceptional. But what was the fuel for you to be brave? Like, what was the fuel for you to be brave in your work? And why is that important for us to know? Like, how can we learn from that? So Karen, I'm going to go back to you.
Great.
And I will throw an extra question in there so I don't have to merry-go-round you guys again if you don't want. But I want to know that, and then I want to know, what is your number one must
I'm
tell?
done.
Like, if you weren't going to see us again, what is your number one must tell? Susan, we can hear you, honey. So, yeah, what is your must tell? So how did you become brave? Why is it important for us to know that? What can we learn from that? And what is the number one thing, the must tell, based on what you do, that we should know?
Okay, great.
I know.
I'll
Got
start us
that?
off.
Ta-ra-ta-ta.
Yeah, what
Right.
was the turning point? So, like most of us have shared, for me, it also came from a personal experience. After years of being struggling with some physical autoimmune issues and losing relationships and going through quite a bit of chaos and disruption. And then when I was really at the bottom, I had stepped out of my career. I was literally in bed for a couple of years with my illness. My husband said, "That's it. Like, I'm not going to do this anymore." So I hit a total rock bottom chapter in my life. And honestly, I didn't think I was going to go on, or I wanted to go on. And it wasn't so much like interrupting myself at that point, but it was really what I did after that to totally use that bottom experience as an invitation to grow, where I really took a step back to understand, how the hell did I get here? How did I contribute to these patterns that weren't working for me? How was I getting in my own way? And then ultimately, not only did that help me reposition my life, but completely informed the work I was already doing with clients. And I know in my heart that is where this KG accountable therapy method that I trademarked and wrote a book about last year came from, because I knew it worked for me, and I knew that there was nothing special about me, that if I could do it, anyone could do it. So the passion and the courage that I keep working in this way, because I believe in it so much. And so, publishing the book on it was the icing on the cake. And I have had people reach out to me to tell me how that has changed their lives, whether they're leaving marriages or having babies or changing jobs or moving to another part of the world. Like, people make life-changing decisions. The one golden nugget I would leave for people, because this has really become my more recent passion, is that if you're going to use precious time and energy and well-earned money for you or one of your loved ones or friends, hire a therapist who you know is going to support the exact change you're looking for. Gone are the days of non-directed, unstructured, indefinite therapy that goes everywhere and goes nowhere at the same time. Make sure there are tools and strategies to break patterns, calm nervous systems, and take some of this past pain, like I did, towards actionable resilience and expansion. So it's tools and strategies that help you be accountable to yourself.
Wow. I'm hearing accountability, accountability. Hun, please put the link to your book. That's how we met on the Emmys or Oscars. Who knows? It was the Oscars event. And Ocean kept walking by her booth and walking by her booth. And I'm like, just ask her for the book already. And I don't even have a copy because he took it. But so your book, your programs, whatever that you have in relation to that, please put it in the chat. So people can discover more. Thank you so much. And Tammy, and I know that Desi will unlock you there in a few seconds.
I'm unlocked. Okay.
Yeah.
So here we go. That was amazing, Karen, because, I think a lot of us are going to kind of come through with that fuel thing, where it came from and how it happened. A lot of it's personal. So for me, I'm going to go back again when everything shut down and my business, like everything plummeted. I had my clients left, my income plummeted at the start of the pandemic, everything shut down. I had been running away, with all my work travels. Every 2 weeks of the month, I was away. So I didn't have to face anything. I was able to keep pushing a lot of unresolved feelings and emotions and issues down and deal with it. But then all of a sudden I had to, right? And I wasn't okay because I understood that as I started going in and not being afraid to learn and open the door and speak to people and get more help, I started realizing that, I knew I grew up walking on eggshells, and I knew I came from a home of a lot of generational discord and trauma. And I knew I carried it forward as a parent. And
Mhm.
what really kind of moved me, what was the fuel, was I wanted it to be different for my kids. I wanted to break the generational discord. So that's where I started with the whole messaging thing, where I started really messaging them. And I had to let go of like, are they going to think I'm nuts? Because I have three boys. They're grown. I started this when they were adults. By the way, it's never too late. It's never too late to change a relationship. But you have to be the one to take the step. You can't expect somebody else to take the step. You have to be able to reach them where they are, not where you want them to be. And these things came and I just started, and I became very introspective and open. And it was like came from God, because God was like, you need to do this. Because I had autoimmune disease from stress. And then, of course, as time went, I even, had a breast cancer diagnosis. You need to do this, and you need to really connect to yourself too. It's not just about deepening your connection to everybody else. You have to learn how to deepen connections and have empathy and open up those channels, because they're not open for you. You have the compassion, you need that. So I learned a lot from it. So that's what the fuel was. I wanted it to be different, and I knew I could show other parents. If you listen, Karen says, I tell parents, I'm not a parenting expert, I'm not a coach, I'm not a psychologist. You need help, you hire help. But this is something that you can do, because we all have a phone and it's all in our hand and it's in their hand, and you could send that message of love, gratitude, worthy, everything. Tell them what they mean and how extraordinary they are. You can do it every day. And I actually have like all these different like things now that I've built up, prompts and categories and things to help people get on their way. Besides the fact the book has 215 pages of text messages. So yeah, and what my one big thing would be to tell anybody is, it doesn't have to be 100%. It doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to be 100% ready and qualified to do it. Just take a step, start doing it, and try to just pause for a minute instead of reacting, and just let go of the whole judgment thing, because that's the worst thing we do. That's the biggest saboteur is judgment, judging yourself, judging others, and judging situations. So just take a deep breath and take one small step. Like, just go for it.
Right on. Oh my goodness. I'm going to ask you the same thing. Please put the information for your book. For those of you that have been on Deb's favorite book picks, it's up on debdrummond.com, and you'll go right through to her and get your book. I'm sure it's on Amazon. I'm sure it's on your site. Please put your everything into the chat. That would be amazing. Thank you so much. And Rhonda, over to you. So again, just to remind you, what was the fuel for you to be brave in your work? What is it that's important for us to know about that? And what is your number one tell-all that we can take away and leave with us today?
My fuel is tenacity. We all have it. It's all within us. It's just tapping into it. And for me, tenacity means the courage and the control to follow your passion. My passion, I knew along my corporate career, I had a passion for coaching, training, and developing others. And it came from my own experiences of how maybe I was managed, and maybe not. I knew there was just a different way to train and gain rapport with others, so that teams feel empowered and that they thrive and they know what their role is. So I knew what my passion was, and I took control throughout my career of placing myself in positions where I could, encourage my teams and train my departments. But then that courage was taking the step and saying, okay, I can do more with this. What can I do differently? What can I do bigger? And how can I help more organizations and more cultures? And so that's when I took the leap. I took the courage, stepped out of my comfort zone, took the leap, and launched my own business 5 years ago. And also in the middle of, that was 2021. So that was the middle of, navigating through a new way of communicating with others. But then also, I had my own personal health journey for 27 months. It lasted 27 months, but I still showed up every day because that's what tenacity is. How do you show up and follow your passion? And I just pinch myself every day because I get to work with organizations who want to help their teams, who want to create a culture, to help with that engagement, to work on that communication. It's all around communication, finding common ground through communication so we can collaborate where everyone thrives. And that's truly what fuels me, is I'm knowing that I'm helping moving the needle, not only in organizations, but with individuals as leaders. That's what fuels me, because I know I'm making an impact. I'm helping elevate something at some point. And so the final thing, it's so hard to put in one thing to share, but there's so many nuggets that we've gained throughout this weekend. And I want to just add on to that. And that's that we all have the tools within ourselves to be successful. Tap into your own tenacity. You have tenacity within you. You are empowered to achieve the goal and live the life you want to live. And it just starts with one step. And I'm a recovering perfectionist. So like I think Tammy just said, just take that leap without judging yourself. I like to have everything perfect. Do more research before I launch my business. Do more of this before I do that social media post. But just do it. Just do it and stop judging yourself, because there's only feedback in life, not failure. If we can learn and grow, then it's not failure. And that's what helps us take that leap and take that trailblazing journey that we deserve.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I love that. Feedback, failure. That's interesting. So thank you so much. I just love your spunk. Every time you show up, you've got it going on and you're so excited. You're always so excited. And I love that. I love that people are talking about restarts or new starts, right? I love that. I love that. Okay.
I launched my business at the age of 52. Here you go.
Right? That's what I mean. Like a restart, new start. It's incredible. It's incredible.
Deb, it's because of our success circle and the people we surround ourselves with, and because you have given this platform and you have built this 262 community. I am so empowered to be here and be part of this. I've gained so many wonderful relationships that I see on the screen because of this community. And it's an honor to be here again.
Oh, okay. I'm not supposed to cry to the book launch. Okay, that's a given. That's a given. Thank you so much, my friend. And Kira, please, again, tell us, what was the fuel for you to be brave in your work? What is it important for us to know about your work? And what is your message about that?
Thank you. Like so many here, the fuel for my work really came from my own journey. And I long felt that I wanted to ensure that children didn't feel alone in their pain and that adults do not relive the traumas they experienced early on. But what really sparked that fuel, lit that fire, was back in 2020, and it had nothing to do with COVID. It was when there were some members in my family that were going through some really rough separations. And speaking with them and seeing what was going on and speaking with other family members at that time, it really brought up a lot of awareness around my early conditioning and how that early conditioning led me into relationships that were harmful for me, and seeing what is happening for the children and to the children and what they are around energetically, and how, even though it's not obvious if it's impacting them in that moment, how I know very clearly that it is. And just really brought that passion for me to really start taking action and start planning how and looking at how I can really serve these underserved groups of people who often feel exasperated, powerless, hopeless, and at their wits' end. And that's really where it comes from. And when it comes to what is my message, well, the truth is you've got to do the work. And that work for me means that you've got to be willing to actively learn to know, love and honor yourself, because in doing that, you can then learn to know, love, and honor your child or children for who they truly authentically are. And that is going to bring such a shift in your relationship, joy into your life, and it's going to change the future for both you and the children and future generations in your family line. So that's where it comes from, and that's my big purpose and mission, and I'm so happy that I can share it here. So thank you.
Oh my gosh, this is so incredible. I'm telling you, woo, it has just been like almost undescribable. Almost undescribable. For those of you that have been here for these 2 days, listening like these, right? Undescribable. If you are only here today and didn't get the recording, get the recording. Just go get the recording, because you're just going to be blown away. It's been this power. We talked about it in the very beginning. Who was here yesterday at the very beginning? We talked about power forward and be careful what you say. That has been incredible. Thank you so much. And please, everyone, put your everything in the chat, because people are going to want to connect with you. And then Melissa Heathers.
All right.
All
Thank
right.
you, Amanda. Thank you, Kira. Tenacity. Like, that is all I see in this room is many, many tenacious women who have done the work. Well done, ladies. So for me, the fuel behind my bravery was really two things: faith in finding myself again, and purpose, and finding my purpose through my trials and tribulations. I really did need my darknesses. They were my gifts to find my light again. My book began as small nudges, which I call were whispers from God telling me there was something more, and I was meant to use my voice. I didn't have a voice for most of my life till I was in my 30s. So for a long time, like many women, I really questioned whether I was ready, qualified, bold enough to step into this space. But I realized something powerful. Courage doesn't come before the step. It becomes because of the steps that we take from that. And I appreciate all of you for helping me take steps into my purpose. What I would, sorry, I just got a little emotional here. What I want to tell everyone and leave everyone with today is this: your voice matters more than you think it does. So many women believe their story is too small, too messy, too ordinary to be shared. But the truth is, the things that you have lived through is often the medicine someone else is searching for and needs to heal. Your experience holds wisdom. Your healing creates a ripple effect. Look what we're doing here this weekend. When we choose to show up, imperfect but authentic, we create connection. And connection is where transformation lives. So, whatever your book in life, whether it's a message or a mission or a dream, do not keep it on the shelf. The world doesn't need more perfection. It needs more brave voices.
All right. Ooh, breathe that in. How are we feeling, people? I see the chat is going crazy. I see people doing connections in business in front of my eyes. Oh my goodness, incredible. Susan, tell us. What's your fuel, girl? Oh, are you getting in? That's okay. It just takes a second. Desi is required one by one for security reasons.
Not a problem. And I forgot to mute myself last time. I told you one of my turning point stories when my own daughter, who meets the criteria of my clients, she's twice exceptional, profoundly gifted, has multiple disability labels, and yet her own school was not protecting her, and I had to laser focus and step in. I live the life that most of my clients live. My own kids needed supports of somebody like me. I was already in the field 10 years when my first child was born. I was already a professional. And then I became a mom of a child who turned out to need the services of someone like me. And that opens your eyes to a whole new perspective. And when my clients hear that I have lived the same life that they've lived, it builds a relationship. And I'm looking at the comments and I'm listening to the women on this panel, my sisters on International Women's Day, and we're all talking about relationships. And so for me, one of the real turning points is realizing that my clients, well, we've lived the same life, and it builds a level of trust and rapport. But I'm also a highly trained professional. I have a PhD in child clinical psychology. I worked as a clinical psychologist for 30 years before, again, laser focus is the word I use. You've heard me say it many times, Deb. I laser focused on these teens and young adults who were lacking the skills they needed to be successful in their lives. And that's where I think my turning point really became. I identified families who really understand that they're stuck, that their kids are stuck, that the schools and systems around them were not supporting them the way they needed. And I can come in and offer that support, offer that change in their lives. And that's what these families really need. They need to feel heard and understood. The way I'm reading this chat, the same as you, Deb, and saying, wow, we're all feeling heard and understood by each other today because we're feeling the same thoughts, feelings, and needs. The families I work with don't have that. And that's my real mission. My mission is to help families feel heard and supported, move from that chaos and conflict to having, this is my catchphrase, harmony in their homes. Families want harmony. They want calm. They want trust and respect. And my goal is to help families feel harmony.
Uh,
All right, sister. Wow. Okay, Miss Carol Patrizi, you are going to
okay.
be wrapping up this incredible trailblazing panel.
So if I can do that, I'm actually overwhelmed with emotion, as you said, and we haven't had the book launch yet. So here we go. Deb will have us all crying. But so, y'all, we're all talking about accountability, wanted it to be different, accountability, one step at a time, tenacity, bravery, passion. What can I do differently? Communication, collaboration, harmful relationships. Our darknesses lead us to the light. Motherhood. This is what y'all all just shared. The fuel that brought me to bravery was rock bottom. It was rock bottom. I'm one of 11 kiddos. My story was kind of out of control. There wasn't anything in my story that I was recognizing as who I am as a person, of what I believed and where I had hoped to go. And I just didn't see it. And so I was in pain on many different levels. And I realized I had I had to be like Michael Jackson. I had to be the change. I was living in insanity, and we all know that definition. I was doing what I thought was right, more and more of it, harder and harder with other people, never getting a different outcome because that is insanity. So I decided I would, and Deb knows it's not a sexy topic, but the umbrella of everything I do is under accountability. And I realized I've got to surrender. I cannot do this on my own. I need to be accountable, but dear God, I need the Holy Spirit to push me forward. I need help. Doors started opening. I felt such freedom and such relief. And all of a sudden, I realized every day throughout the day, I'm going to surrender this day. I'm giving it to Him. Who can I help? What can I do? Please, please guide me. And I try to begin the day with that, be quiet. At the end of the day, bookend it that same way, take it where it can take it. So, again, what I'm going to leave, what I want each person here with today, remember You are a precious child of God, and you matter, and your story matters. People need to hear your stories. God loves you. You are never by your we are never alone, even though we don't feel like do we feel God's present all the time? Absolutely not. You know, there's that one step at a time, faith, prayer. Remember the ripple effect. We've talked about it today. What we do on one side of the ocean literally echoes across the world. And I just thank you, Deb, and I thank each of you so much. You cannot believe it. So let's just remember yeah, we all have gifts, and it's a responsibility to share them. Thank you.
Wow. Was that a trailblazing panel or what? Our panels this weekend have been exceptional. So I'm just going to remind you, and maybe put your hand up, because there's been so much good stuff. I think people are in like digestion as they're meeting and we're going around. So Karen Goslin, psychotherapist, best-selling author, and international speaker, give us a wave. Tammy Cohen, author of The Text Messages to My Son, please give us a wave. All right. Rhonda Travers, training and consultant specialist, please give us a wave. Melissa Heather is executive producer of the TV show Book Crawl. Give us a wave. And you can get Dear Ego, Dear Heart everywhere, including on Deb's favorite book picks, of course. And also Susan Bloomberg, teen parent coach. Kara Conlon, family, child, parent support service provider. I got you covered. And then Carol Patrizzi, speaker, podcast, storyteller, and mindset coach. All right. So thank you. We so appreciate you.